So, good morning, friends. So, this is our second lecture for Indian polity and constitution. So, today we will ponder upon a very important topic, that is theory of separation of power. This topic per se is not important. Nobody will ask you in UPSC that write about the theory of separation of powers. But this is essential. The 10-minute discussion for this topic is essential for understanding that how our constitution has evolved and on what principles has our constitution been written. So the theory of separation of powers, let's deal with it. Theory of separation of powers is a concept or is a theory which was given by Montesquieu. Montesquieu was a French thinker, and his ideas inspired the famous French Revolution which occurred in the 18th century. You guys will learn about French Revolution in the world history. So French Revolution, I'll give you a basic idea. French Revolution was basically a people's movement or a campaign by the people. It was a bit violent campaign against the absolute monarchy, which the campaign was based on this theory of Montesquieu of separation of powers. So on the example of French Revolution, let's deal ahead that what the theory of separation of power means. Let's discuss the society of France in the 18th century. In the 18th century, the France or the nation of France was divided, socially it was divided into three stages. The first was the church or religion or the religious denominations. Followed by the church, there was the king and the nobles. And the third was the common people. So the French society, which was divided into these three stages, all the powers means generally what does a government do? A government will make laws, it will enforce those laws on the citizens, and if someone breaks these laws or if someone does something wrong, then the government is also responsible for dealing with or punishing the person for breaking the laws. So these forms the three main functions of a government. I'll repeat. First is formation of laws, second is enforcement of those laws, and third is to check that no one is breaking these laws. So in the France of the 18th century, all these three functions of the government were concentrated into this one person, the king. The king exercised all the powers of the government. He was responsible for making laws, he was also responsible for executing them, and he was also responsible for judging the people on if they are breaking the laws and if they have really broken a law or not. So don't you guys think that this was very much power to a single entity? Yes, it was. And based on this French philosopher or French thinker's ideas, the people revolted against this concentration of power in a particular entity and decided that the government will be elected by the people. In the last lecture we discussed democracy. So government will be elected by the people, and the three powers which I discussed right now would be divided into three separate entities, and all these three powers would be watertightly divided. So basically the theory of separation power is simple, and it states that there are three functions of the government. First is legislation, second is the executive function, and third is the judiciary. Legislation function deals with making of laws. In the Indian context, the parliament is responsible for legislation. Executive is enforcing those laws. And in India, the government of India is responsible for this. And the third is judiciary or protecting the laws. And the Supreme Court of India and all the high courts, district courts, all of these are responsible for this function. So basically, after the division of these three government functions, further Montesquieu states that all these three functions should be watertightly separated, means that the legislative functions cannot go for the executive nor will the executive function go in the hands of executive. Other example is the executive would not be responsible for the judiciary function, nor will the judiciary be responsible for the legislative function. So all of them would have properly codified divided functions, and all of them would act in their respective domains and would not jump into any other person's domain. So these are the three basic separation of powers. But let us discuss the theory of separation of powers in the context of India. India does follow this system more or less, but the only thing that is different in India is the legislation and executive are interdependent. Means the member of the parliament which is responsible for making the legislation or making laws, those member of parliaments, amongst them, the majority forms the government. So did you understand, guys? The legislation, out of the legislation, some people form the executive or the government. That is very peculiar about the Indian system of theory of separation of powers. And one of the most important fact of the theory of separation of powers is judiciary. And judiciary forms the very important core. And judiciary is responsible for checking that the legislation or the executive does not go forward of their boundary or do not cross their boundaries. Like if the parliament makes a law which is very unethical, which is very bad in common language, which is not regard to the constitution, which is very bad for the citizens or the governor, the judiciary can declare that law as null and void or cancel the entire enforcement of the law. Like if the other example is if the executive, like police forms the part of the executive. If a police officer has arrested you illegally and without any charges, without any warrant, then the judiciary is responsible for enforcing that the police officer has to release you if you have not committed any crime and if they have not followed the proper procedures. So the judiciary forms very important base of the theory of separation of powers, and to ensure that judiciary can act with its utmost efficiency, it is necessary that the judiciary is independent. What does independent judiciary means? That the appointment of judges, the appointment of the staff for judiciary or the people who are responsible for administration of justice are not dependent on their promotion, on their appointment, on their retirement, on their transfer, on the executive or legislation. So I will give you an example. So in India, the appointment of judges is carried out by a particular group of judges only, and this group is known as the collegium. So there is no involvement of any ministers or the prime minister or no one from the executive or no member of parliament is involved in appointment of the judges. So this ensures that the judiciary is totally independent and it can protect the constitution, protect the rules, the procedures and enforce them upon the legislation and executive if they cross their sphere of domain. So this was all about the theory of separation of power, and I hope you guys did understand.